Hello and welcome to a very quick video all about my work experience at Recycle Radio. So first of all, to begin, what was my strategy? Basically, what my goal was, my strategy was to get into a radio studio. That's what I wanted to do. It's what I want to do for the rest of my life, to present or to produce. So the first step was to get in. I also wanted to learn more about radio practices and their importance. So there's obviously a lot goes into the radio industry, and I thought I knew what it was. I thought I had a vague idea, but it's best to know these things, make sure I'm right, or if I'm not right, find out what they really are. So that was another thing I really wanted to find out. And get into Recycle Radio. That was once I'd found out Recycle Radio. It was local to my area. It was somewhere I'd seen, and it was making some really great stuff. So I thought I definitely want to get in there. So when I checked it out and stuff, that was another one of my goals, was to get into Recycle Radio. So what did I do at Recycle Radio once I got in? Which was a case of emailing them, asking for any shadowing experiences or work experience, getting in the door, and it was great. They were very accepting. They said, "Come on in." Had a talk with them online on the phone, and then I ended up getting more than I bargained for, and I ended up getting a weekly show, and it went out every Saturday. So that's one thing that I did. It was the Niall Hegarty show. It's still ongoing, and every week, every Saturday on Recycle Radio at 5:30, that goes out. I've been doing that now since October, and I kept regular contact with the station manager, which was something really important because it's fair enough to make this content, but I need to make sure I'm doing the right thing and getting the right lessons and learning the right things and practices. So that was really important, keeping contact with him. So that's what I did. I got into Recycle Radio and I kept in touch with the station manager, but also a lot of the presenters who were there too. And what did I learn? First of all, I've learned so much since being there. It would take hours to sum it all up. But to briefly sum it up as best I can, I learned the values of the radio industry. So there's so many different things. So especially timing and getting things on time and punctually. So making sure I have a show in every Saturday was so important. It has to be to a good standard as well, and following all the tropes. No content endorsement, no swearing. I've learned the importance of experience. So getting those air miles in the radio industry is so important. So that includes how to conduct yourself when on the radio. That is so important. It also includes things like picking the right tracks. It's simple things that you wouldn't realize till you put it into practice, like getting tracks with no swearing in, making sure you're talking about relevant stuff. So it's one thing being very charismatic, but if you're talking about things that aren't very interesting, people aren't going to want to listen. So it was definitely a sense of that. And I learned I have what it takes. And it sounds quite egotistical, but it is true. And you have to know you have what it takes to do this job and to learn these things that I was learning. And I learned that I might not have what it taken at the start, but since I've learned, so I've learned all about what makes great radio, how to keep the community hooked, how to make great content. I learned to find out I have what it takes. And you don't have what it takes till you start, but then once you get into it and learn these things, it is so important. So how did I perform? So working under pressure was a key thing in terms of how I performed. So obviously every Saturday you have to make a show, or has to go out. So you have to have a show prepared for every Saturday. So that was really interesting because every week now I'm required to make a show, and it's doable. It's obviously doable, but there's a lot of work involved. So that's one thing, working under pressure. But also that includes sort of coming up with new ideas, coming up with new music that people are going to be interested in. You can't be selfish. You can't think, I like this music, I like this idea, I'm doing it. You have to think, other people, are they going to like this? And that's the pressure you're working under. So you could almost say social trends take a big part in this. And problem solving. So one example of that I did at Recycle Radio was I wanted to do a show that involved more than one person. So for a few months it was just me, just talking like, this next track is this, and then a funny story. And that's fine, but then I hit a ceiling, so I needed to break through it. So I wanted to get some friends in, so I did. I got 2 friends in. But obviously, during the pandemic, they couldn't just come in. And even if it wasn't, they lived too far away. So I had to come up with a way that no one had done on Recycle Radio before, where I could have 3 people who sound like they're in a room together, making a radio show with music and with features in it. So we all connected online, on like an online chatting platform. And then we basically all talked and then record our own audio, send it to me, stitch it all together, and put the songs in between and stuff like that. Basically, problem solving that issue, coming up with new features. So I pitched that with them, and we play them, and they work. Finding out a way to solve the problem of having more than one presenter in this current time. And one's in Newcastle, I'm in Yorkshire, and one's in London, and yet we all do a radio show together every week. So problem solving was definitely something that I think I performed on really well, as well as working under pressure. So what's next for me? Continuing at Recycle Radio is definitely. Although I've been there for a while now, I don't intend to stop. I'm going to keep doing it. It's great fun. So it's definitely something I'm going to continue to do, and my two friends really love it. And it's something that it's addictive. Once you start, you can't stop. Making new contacts is something I'm going to do. So I'm on LinkedIn and I'm making contacts on there, networking on different things, Instagram, Facebook, and sending emails out. So continue making new contacts, building up that sort of portfolio of people. So you know a lot of people in the industry. So you're never a stranger. If you knew everybody in one person in each job that you want to be in, then you'd never be a stranger because they can recommend you. And finally is improving my craft. So I said that I've gotten better since I started. I genuinely believe I've gotten a lot better since going to Recycle Radio, learning the different practices and taking on board all the lessons they've taught me. But you're never ever finished. So if I make new contacts and I get somewhere new, I will take on board everything they have. And then if I leave there, I'll go somewhere new and then take on board everything they have. And just constantly building yourself up. You are your sort of your own portfolio, and your skills are what is on your portfolio. So improving my craft is going to be getting it better presenting and producing great radio content, but fundamentally the foundations have been built on Recycle Radio, and I've learned so much. Every show I've ever made is still on my computer, so it's so interesting. I can listen to my very first show and my most recent show, and the difference is it's so big. I start and I'm really quiet, and then now it's just such a big change, and it's something that I would never ever take back, because you learn so much in any radio work experience, and Recycle Radio was definitely no exception. But that was a short video, basically, of my work experience journey, what I've learned, different things, what I've done, how I've performed, and my strategy. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.